This is AV-1 proceeding to land at Docking Station 1 Tower. Do you copy? Roger that. I can't hear a thing you're saying, Tower. I'm gonna go ahead and land anyway. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Make it finally safely back home in my mostly incomplete skybase. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Sean. People on the internet call me Spumwack. And today we're chilling out on the Hermitcraft mod server. What on earth are these iron ore berries doing just sitting around? Did they get popped out of the machine? I'll get to that in a minute. What's going on, guys? This is what is going to be my brand new skybase. My giant mothership airship. It's not going to move. Not like my smaller ones, unfortunately, because the airship mod does have a 2,000 block limit. So this thing is going to have to be more on the stationary side, but I do like the idea of having a giant carrier ship to handle all of my smaller ships, and this is even going to be one of my, little babies right here. I want to do a lot more cooler airships. But you can tell that's where the old base was. I said I wanted to move all of my items, and I finally did it. Check it out. Bam. Move, workshop. All that stuff you saw in there was the new workshop. It's all just been taken out. Actually, let's just jump down here real quick. You can see right inside here, it used to be all ugly and gross. It's all been cleared out. It took me so long, probably like 4 good hours, and I didn't destroy that because you can't really move those. They just get destroyed. I haven't tried it with Silk Touch yet, but that's a witchery pot, basically. So, what are you doing, zombie? Coming down my staircase when I'm trying to go up my staircase? That's just rude. So we still got the crops in place. We're still fairly close to this area. We've still got the basic setup for the blood altar back there. But what I want to do today is automate my ore gathering process. Well, my iron ore gathering process as much as I can. Because a lot of stuff uses iron, and frankly, I just don't have as much of it as I would like. I'll give you a super quick tour of this place. It's honestly mostly the same as everything I had down there, just organized better, just all my chests organized. I do have this really simple cooking system, this non-electric cooking system, because I didn't feel like getting into any of the energy mods, especially elaborately, quite yet, and I wanted to keep this, like, not very, chunk loady. So, or not very laggy, I should say. So I just have a whole bunch of charcoal hooked up to a whole bunch of hoppers right next to, this guy's empty right now, but it should be the second hopper has charcoal in it. Ooh, the third. The fourth. I'm running low. Yep, 28 down there. Anyways, every one of these hoppers is full of charcoal. So there's like 2.5 barrels worth of charcoal all just inside this thing. Anyways, so that's where I've been powering my stuff at, and this right here, let's get to that in a second, because that's what I'm going to be building today. This right here is a simple mob farm. It's got all just tier 1 spawners. Boop, there we go. It's got daytime mobs, it's got nighttime mobs, extra padding on the side, just to make sure they don't spawn out here. I'm technically missing out on a few spawns because of that, but not concerned, it's not a big deal. You can tell we've already got all these chests filled up with some extra utilities pipes, just pumping them, keeping this chest fairly empty. Although now, I bet you it's full of a bow, isn't it? Yep. That's one problem that I still need to work through in this thing, is it does not push bows through the machine very easily, so we're going to have to do something. Find a way to throw bows away by throwing out a filter pipe or whatnot. Oh, no. Lagged? Huh, I guess it was just lagged. Anyways, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be building a better iron farm out of ore berries. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, but Spumwack, why don't you just build a quarry? It's way easier. The simple fact is that I already did a quarry in my last Feed the Beast series. Does it not get ore berries from this outside? I don't understand why there's some growing and some not. The simple fact is that I already did a quarry in my Feed the Beast series, and I would prefer to get resources in alternative methods. We're going to get crazy with it, right? We're going to get wacky with it. So I want to have a farming station connected to my ore berries, and that's what this is, by the way. If you couldn't tell all the stuff down here, look at the chest. It automatically collects all the stuff, and it just does it with a wooden hoe. Not doing a very good job of depositing them. I guess that's just because the chest is full. Anyways, this was just temporary so I can get a handful more resources while I was working, but today we're going to be doing the more permanent things. So first off, what we got to do is basically build an underside of the ship. So that's going to require some stone and the builder's wand. And we're going to have this thing go up by, I forget how many. We've got whole bunch of Oreberries up top. Only a handful. So 1, 2, 3 above the farming station is what we're looking at so far. The problem with Oreberries is that you need to place them on stone. So we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to do the mid-flying. Luckily I do have this brand new pickaxe, which has mining speed 29, which is pretty darn high. And we also want to make sure this is right in the center. I don't know how far the airship's going to come out this way, although that seems like the type of thing we should figure out today, huh? I'm really just eyeballing it. So let's go back by about this much, and does a width of that good look good? I think so, right? Maybe a few more blocks, maybe like 8 more blocks. I want those helipad things on the sides to not look super weird. So now we're gonna cut this in half and find the exact center. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 22, 23, 24. This is going to be the exact center of the width of the ship, which we don't necessarily have to place this thing in the exact center. We probably actually want to place power in the center, so we're going to have this thing be a little bit off-center. But that's just fine. We'll probably want to have some way to signify that, don't we? Let's grab a real quick solid. Could be anything. Just some way of signifying. Iron ore works for me. Plop you down right there, and now we're going to be going down by 1 here. And actually, let's fill in the sides first. Now that's done. I don't know why that block is floating right there. And so we're going to set up the basis for the Oreberry at this moment. Let's go ahead and get our stone right. Oh, I used a lot of stone doing that. And remember, it is pretty dark in here, but I've got night vision, so that's the thing. Oreberries do kind of have to be placed in the dark. And I'm just going to probably use magnum torches to prevent spawns. But I'm not going to worry about that yet, because we just want to get the basics of this thing going so we can get moving. So we're going to go 3 in every direction, because the farming station has a range of 7. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. All that's set up. Now we can actually start placing our Oreberry bushes, but of course I don't have those yet. So let's tear this thing down, as well as get some more stone and do some better inventory clearing. Alright guys, got our Oreberry bushes. Looks like we're looking at 87 of them, so we're going to have to do a little bit of math to find out how to keep them all fairly close to the farming station so we can just extend them later. So let's see, if the bottom row is 888, that makes 24, which is roughly a little less than a third of what we're looking at. So we could have it go out by 2 in all directions instead of 3, and that's probably the safest bet to take. And should we start at the very top? We should. I think we have to start on the very top still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's make sure we got this all right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start on the very top up there. And we're going to go 1, 2 in out direction. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So right now this thing looks like it's going to be a little bit of a 5 by 5, right? Because it's 1, 2 in every direction. What's going on? Yeah, I just messed up this side right here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Excellent, guys. So we're going to bring this thing down exactly in a straight line. The way we're going to be doing that, let's grab the hammer, taking you, cutting down 9 at a time like this, and we're just going to have to be bringing down an exact, how do I put this, a shaft of Oreberries that is going to be 5 by 5, yeah. Now, I may be wrong on this, but I think the farming station only has a vertical reach of 3 blocks as well. Come to my stone, there we go. I think it only has a reach of 3 blocks as well, so we can see we've got 3 layers right here. That means we're going to be placing our farming station right there in the middle. Underneath our farming station is where we're going to put our Stirling generator, so let's place that also. Boop. There we go, got our Stirling generator. May as well get this thing powered right now, get some of that juice flowing all up in this thing, and with these 12 pieces of Oreberry bush, I think we're good to go. We need to leave some room for a pipe to leave this thing. In fact, let's just do that now. Let's place the pipe coming out of this beast. We'll have the transfer pipe going in that direction. Every other slot around here can have an Oreberry bush, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12. Just keep the whole thing mostly symmetrical. After that, we would just like to be able to actually walk underneath this thing, so I think this is gonna be our floor level right there. So let's start making... We got a few pieces of stone, right? Yeah, let's start actually making the floor for this lower ship level. I think that'll cut it. I don't want to use all of our stone on this thing right now. I'm gonna sort of have the ship taper inwards. I think that'd be cool, don't you? So you can see it's already slowly tapering upwards, sort of like a cruise ship. It's gonna like taper more as it goes. I'm probably gonna use a building guide to see exactly how I want it to taper. And the bottom is going to taper a lot more, which is why I wanted to put this thing in the center, because I knew this would be tall. So we may be able to fit one little layer underneath here, although I don't know what we would put in that layer. However, our farming station is actually just about done. We only need to throw in a... whatchamahoosit? A hoe inside this thing, which we can even make it a stone hoe because it doesn't actually use up durability on the hoe to farm anything, because it's not like it's retilling the land. It just basically has to know that it's supposed to be farming. So let's go ahead and build one real quick. I think we should, let's just use normal birch, or normal oak, shall we? Throw you together, 1, 2, and make a quick little wooden hoe. There we go. Throw our wood back in the chest, head back downstairs, and officially complete this farming station. It should be up and fully operational. There we go. So once it starts getting some iron ore berries, it'll start collecting them in this thing. And then once we start collecting more iron ore berries, then we can add on to the outskirts of this thing. Make it a little more efficient. But now that that's placed, it's time to do the chests. Now, I set this thing up in such a way that we need to have an interior chest right here, basically as a buffer. Let's make sure we always have a pipe right there, actually. I'm afraid of not having a pipe right there. We got one pipe. Let's put even another chest, so our pipe outwards will be the 3 we need to get out of here, right? So we extend by 1, 2, and 3. Suppose we could go down, couldn't we? Yeah, you know what? I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of iron Oreberry to make sure a bunch of junk doesn't come down here and get in our way. So we're missing out on one Oreberry bush, one Oreberry bush we could have right here. We could move the pipe downwards, but I'd rather have a working level with all these Oreberry bushes that we can actually just walk across without hassle. So now, you're not going to be a transfer pipe. What you are going to be is an item transfer node connected simply to some hyper rationing tubes. If you don't know what a hyper rationing tube is quite simple. It simply makes it so that only one item is pulled or put into the connecting inventory. We're going to do that on purpose because the way we want this to interact with the world is by crafting exactly one item from each chest into an iron block. So let me go show you what I'm talking about. I need to craft a crafting station and turn some iron ore berries into an ingot. So let's do that real quick. Let's grab our ore berries right here and snag ourselves a crafting station. We're basically going to be setting this up with chests. Each one of these inventory slots is going to be a chest holding one iron ore berry, and it's going to have one iron ingot. We also need to grab one of crafting table, which I don't have for some reason. Probably should start making some spares of these, and believe it or not, we're actually getting pretty close to getting this little Oreberry farm finished. So let's make sure we have trap chests so that we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 in between those slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and then 5. And now we should be hyper rationing one Oreberry into each one of these chests. So we simply have a crafting table connected right to the end with an item transfer node hooked up to a world interaction upgrade. And that means it's basically going to interact with this crafting table with these shapes. I know it's kind of funky, but it works. So that will be connected to one simple chest right there. Believe it or not, guys, this thing is done. I know it doesn't look like it because the Oreberries aren't finished, but we happen to have a handful of Oreberries we can use to make this thing a little easier. So all the hyper rationing tubes are in place. Let's throw our Oreberries in here. Watch them throw down one at a time. They go slowly through each of these nodes and into a chest. They get used by the crafting table, which uses the world interaction upgrade and turns into an iron ingot. It turns into an iron ingot. Why isn't this working? It is putting every item in here, isn't it? You're searching for inventories. yet you cannot find inventories. Oh, there we go. I don't know what was happening. Oh, I know what was happening. The transfer node was simply saving up a whole bunch of Oreberries for some reason. I don't know why. Anyways, it seems to be working now. Yep, you see the one Oreberry getting there, and then a second later it gets used by the crafting table. And now we have 5 ingots. We've got an automated iron farm using Oreberries. That's so neat. Everyone else can have their quarries. We don't need quarries. We need berries. More and more and more berries. We can also do this with essence berry too. So we can automate our experience gathering. Not that we really need a whole bunch, because the vacuum popper here that we have set to gather a whole bunch of these monsters, I think that's gathering experience? I think that's what that green stuff is, right? I don't know. I can't tell what that is. I thought it was experience, but I didn't do my research, so I don't know. Let's take the bow out of here, because this thing always gets freaking locked up. We're going to do a little bow filter in this machine at some point, but that's something for another day. I just wanted to get the iron Oreberry farm set up, frankly, so that we could start making factory blocks. Check these things out before I go real quick. Boom. These things are so cheap to make. All it takes is iron, stone, and you make 32 factory blocks. So I wanted to completely automate our iron gathering so it would just seem free to make these things, and I'm probably actually going to replace a good amount of this. Well, maybe not replace it. I could probably just paint it, couldn't I? You see it says canvas, open blocks. Yeah, this is simply just painted stone right here. And that sort of fits in with the color. I probably want to find a similar color to this. This is just my sort of testing thing. Anyways, that about covers it for today, guys. Don't forget, I do have a Patreon account. I'm probably going to do the Patreon donor room thing in between episodes here, so you guys can start seeing what that looks like. I'm probably going to put it right here on the ship so everyone can see it right here in the main level. So, only costs a few dollars to be in my videos. I've also got a Twitter account, which I've been way more active on. I am specially telling people about my streams and stuff. And I've been doing more like bonus videos for likes, and I'm probably going to have more Twitter interaction there, because I can see every time someone that has a Twitter account linked to their YouTube account actually likes my video, and I can use that to, like, I don't know, do some interacting. But I'll leave that as a suggestion for you guys to come up with. If you have any ideas of how you think I should interact with people more over Twitter, maybe take some item suggestions there. That could be an idea. Yeah, sounds good to you guys? Sounds good to me. Alright guys, I will talk to you next time. Hopefully my airship's going to be a little bit in better shape by then.